Welcome to Susquehanna Xpress. Today I am honored to introduce you to two visitors from Sierra Leone, Africa. They are here on a speaking tour around the United Methodist Churches of the Susquehanna Conference. Welcome, Pastor Maybell and Joseph.
Thank you very much. We're honored.
So how has the speaking tour been going? I hear you've had such a busy schedule going around to all of the different churches.
Yes, we have been going around all the churches, telling them that we appreciate their generosity, the money they are sending home for our pastors, and that money is impacting the lives of our pastors to the extent that their life pattern is improved.
So as pastor, can you tell me a little bit about your worship services?
Oh, well, incorporated in our service, we have praise and worship, dancing, singing and dancing, and we use local drums, and that appeals to all of us, so we are very happy.
Okay, I hear it continues for quite a lot longer sometimes than our regular services
yes,
here.
With us we can be there for 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, I think that's great. Do the people often have to travel very far to your churches?
Well, sometimes maybe half an hour or an hour to get to our churches.
Okay.
And most times some of them walk on foot.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about the civil war that has affected Sierra Leone? I know that you know a little bit about the history of it.
Yeah, actually prior to the start of the Civil War, Sierra Leone definitely was a very peaceful country because we are made up of a population that is very hardworking. But somewhere along the line in 1991, we were confronted with a civil war that started from our neighboring country, Liberia.
Okay.
And it had a very devastating effect. It ended after 10 years, and even there it ended when an intervention force put up by the United Nations came to Sierra Leone, and then the war came to an end in 2002. And but like I said, a lot of devastation was done. Churches were destroyed, homes were destroyed, people killed, women raped, and so really the devastation was massive, and virtually brought us down to our knees, and it was difficult to even imagine the country called Sierra Leone from what it was and what it ended up being after the war.
And the war, was it caused mostly over the diamonds that were found in Sierra Leone?
Yes, that is my belief, because sometimes it just called civil war. I do not like to call it that. I call it an economic war, because when the rebels attacked from Liberia, the first target was to go to the diamond fields in the east of Sierra Leone. And once that was captured, they were able to generate enough funds to buy more sophisticated weapons. And so you will say that definitely the war was, the aim was to get to the fields and get as many diamonds as possible to become wealthy, and then to buy arms they were to use to suppress us, the local population.
I heard that your host said that you've called the diamonds a curse to the country, actually.
Yes. The understanding here is that we have countries that also have diamonds. I mean, if I go to the African continent, Botswana is an example, where they have diamonds, and the diamonds have been a blessing to them. On the contrary, for us Sierra Leone, the diamonds have always been the curse. And so that's the way I relate myself, that the diamonds, instead of being a blessing which we could have used to develop our country, make life a bit more comfortable for the population, have turned out to be more of trouble for us. Because I definitely believe that without the diamonds, we could not have had that rebel war. Because we also want to say that as of now, the former Liberian president is in The Hague, is being tried because of the role he played in our civil war. And again, he was just trying to, it is said, or alleged, that he wanted to get hold of our diamonds. So this is a situation that the diamonds definitely are a cost to Sierra Leone as against being a blessing. Thank you.
How has the church been affected by the war?
Oh, it's like the whole nation was affected by the war. Churches were burnt down, schools and clinics, all those structures were burnt down. It was really a terrible time for Sierra Leoneans, and mostly the whole nation, we were all traumatized. But then, as the war came to an end, you know, the war, because of the war, pastors were really in a very bad shape, in a miserable condition. A good number of them could not afford decent shirts, shoes, let alone to put food on the tables for their kids or to pay their fees. So it was really a terrible moment for pastors. But then in 2006, because of the Sierra Leone initiative, the churches out here started sending money down to Sierra Leone for the payment of pastors' salaries. So that really is impacting the lives of the pastors in a positive way.
Yeah, I've heard that the Sierra Leone initiative links an American United Methodist Church with one of your churches, and then they commit to paying a certain amount so that you can be sure, the pastors are sure to be getting a salary. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
And there are more churches, though, that could be linked up, correct? You have more?
Yes, we do.
Well, let me take that. The problem, the situation here is that we are told, and we have documentary evidence of that, that there are 950 United Methodist churches in the Susquehanna Conference. In Sierra Leone, we have 145 churches nationwide, spread all over the Republic of Sierra Leone. And as up to the time we visited, there were only 54 churches linked between the United States and the Republic of Sierra Leone. And when you look at that percentage, 54 as again 950, you will say not much has been done.
Yes.
So, but luckily for us, we think our coming has made some difference, because I am told by the authorities there that 2 more churches have joined.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, and there are indication that others will come on board soonest.
We normally express our thanks and appreciation for their generous contribution to us in Sierra Leone, because at the moment now, every pastor in Sierra Leone could boast of a salary at the end of the month. And we are really very happy about that. But then the salary that is paid to our pastors, assuming it's about $150, and because the economy in the country is in a very bad shape, a pastor buying a bag of rice, which is about 50 kilos for $50, is like that pastor has to battle with $110 for the rest of the month. So it's not really too easy for pastors. In addition to thanking them, we are again appealing that they continue helping us and maybe increase in their givings, so that as pastors we live a better life.
If I am to add to that, I will say that actually, if we look at the progressions, and the idea is marketed aggressively to the American population, and more churches come on board, naturally the salaries of the pastors we reviewed and make them a bit more comfortable.
And as you have visited us, so have some of the representatives from American churches visited Sierra Leone churches as well, right?
Yes.
Have any come to your church, Mabel?
No, none have come to my church. So to speak, I do not even have a church. We worship in a classroom situation.
Oh, okay.
A classroom that has been given to us by the Miti-Magai College of Education and Technology.
Okay, and is that the school that you are principal?
No, not that
okay.
one.
Okay.
Not that one.
All right.
And normally that classroom is left in a very bad shape. So on Saturdays, we have to clean up the classroom to make it ready for worship service on Sunday. Okay. But again, the college has been kind to us, and they have allocated 3 acres of land to us. We have land and we would love to build, but we do not have money at the moment. We want to build a sanctuary and a parsonage for our pastor, but at the moment we are not able because of financial constraints.
Okay. All right, well, thank you so much for taking the time to visit so many different churches and tell your story. So if you are watching this and you just feel led in your heart that you want to speak to your church about linking with the Sierra Leone initiative and helping the churches of our brothers and sisters that are in Sierra Leone, please look at my blog at Susquehanna Xpress.
Bye-bye, thank you.
It's at blogspot.com.
Yeah, wonderful.
And I will be sure to have information for you about how you can do that.